Today on Houzz Ideas, we're exploring 13 inexpensive front yard border ideas for beautiful budget landscaping. From simple DIY edging and natural stone borders to recycled materials, colorful flower beds, modern gravel designs, and low-maintenance planting ideas, these concepts can help transform an ordinary front yard without draining your budget. And make sure you stay until idea number 13, because our final design combines several affordable border ideas into one stunning front yard transformation. If you love budget-friendly landscaping, beautiful gardens, curb appeal ideas, and creative outdoor design, subscribe to Houzz Ideas, turn on notifications, and let's transform your outdoor space one smart idea at a time. Now, let's start with border idea number 1. Idea number 1. The simple curved mulch border. Sometimes, the most affordable landscaping idea is also the simplest. Create a clean curved border between your lawn and planting bed. You don't necessarily need expensive edging materials. A carefully cut edge combined with fresh mulch can create an immediate transformation. The curve is important. Instead of random shapes, create one or two smooth, intentional lines. The border should guide the eye naturally through the front yard. Then add a layer of mulch. Suddenly, the plants look more organized. The lawn looks cleaner, and the entire garden feels professionally designed. This is proof that sometimes, better landscaping starts with better lines. Idea number 2. Natural stone border. For a timeless and natural look, consider using stones as border edging. The stones don't need to be perfectly identical. In fact, slightly irregular shapes can make the design feel more organic. Arrange them along the edge of a planting bed. Then repeat the same material elsewhere in the garden if possible. Perhaps around a tree, along a pathway, or near the entrance. That repetition helps create visual harmony. A simple row of stones can make an inexpensive flower bed feel grounded and permanent. And when surrounded by lush plants, even ordinary landscaping can begin to feel like an established garden. Idea number 3. Recycled brick garden edge. Before buying new landscaping materials, look around. Old bricks can become beautiful garden borders. You can place them vertically, lay them flat, or angle them slightly for a more decorative appearance. The aged texture of reclaimed brick can add warmth and character to the landscape. And because bricks are modular, you can easily create straight lines or gentle curves. Pair them with flowering plants or deep green foliage. The contrast between warm brick and fresh greenery creates a classic garden look. And sometimes, the materials with the most character are the ones that were already available. Idea number 4. Gravel border with low maintenance plants. If you want a clean and contemporary border, consider gravel. A narrow gravel strip can create a beautiful transition between your lawn and planting areas. Use it around drought-tolerant or low-maintenance plants suitable for your local climate. The gravel creates contrast. Green plants become more noticeable, and the border feels neat and intentional. For the best result, keep the gravel contained within a clearly defined shape. You don't need to cover the entire front yard. Sometimes, a narrow strip is enough to create a strong visual impact. And because gravel can reduce the amount of lawn and exposed soil, it can also help simplify maintenance. Idea number 5. Repetition with affordable plants. Here's one of the easiest ways to make a budget garden look professionally designed. Repeat your plants. Instead of buying one of everything, choose one or two affordable varieties. Then plant them in groups. 3 plants, 5 plants, or a longer repeating pattern along the border. This creates rhythm, and rhythm creates visual order. The border immediately feels more intentional. You can combine one flowering plant with one type of foliage, or mix ornamental grasses with low ground cover. The key is consistency. A limited plant palette often looks far more elegant than a collection of random plants. Idea number 6. the wooden plank border. Wood can bring warmth to even the simplest landscape. A basic timber border can define a garden bed while adding a natural texture. Use straight sections for a modern appearance, or create a more relaxed edge depending on the design of your garden. The wood works especially well when repeated elsewhere. Maybe your fence uses a similar finish. Perhaps your front porch includes timber, or your planters have the same tone. Repeating materials is a simple designer trick. It helps separate elements feel connected, and that connection can make a low-budget landscape feel much more thoughtfully designed. Idea number 7. Mini pebble river border. Want your front yard border to feel a little more creative? Try a mini pebble river. Create a narrow, gently curved channel using small stones or pebbles. Let the border flow naturally through the landscape. It can separate the lawn from a planting bed, guide visitors toward the entrance, or create a decorative feature around a small tree. The flowing shape introduces movement, and the texture of the pebbles adds visual interest even when the plants are simple. You can make the effect even stronger by placing a few larger stones along the edge. The result feels natural, almost like a tiny dry stream running through the garden. Idea number 8. Flower border with a limited color palette. A colorful border doesn't have to mean a chaotic border. The secret is choosing a limited color palette. Pick 2 or 3 colors. Then repeat them throughout the planting. Maybe soft white and green, purple and silver, or warm yellow with deep green foliage. When the colors repeat, the garden feels cohesive, and you don't need a huge number of plants to create an impact. Even a narrow flower border can become a major feature when the colors work together. The goal is not to make the border louder, it's to make it more harmonious. Idea number 9. Edging around a statement tree. If your front yard already has a beautiful tree, make it a feature. Create a simple border around the base, a circle, a square, or a soft organic shape. Then add mulch, ground cover, or a few low-growing plants. This instantly gives the tree more visual importance. Instead of looking like a tree sitting alone in the lawn, it becomes part of a designed landscape. You can use inexpensive stones, bricks, or simply a clean-cut soil edge. One tree, one border, and a little planting can completely change the composition of the yard. Idea number 10. The modern straight line border. For modern homes, straight lines can create a surprisingly luxurious look. Use a clean geometric border along the walkway or near the house. The planting itself can remain simple. A few repeated grasses, low shrubs, or architectural plants. The strength comes from the geometry. Sharp lines create contrast against the softer shapes of the plants. And because the design is restrained, you don't need many materials. This is one of the best examples of how good design can be more powerful than expensive materials. Idea number 11. Upcycled bottle or creative DIY border. If you love DIY landscaping, this idea gives ordinary materials a second life. Create a decorative border using repurposed materials that are safe, durable, and suitable for outdoor use. For example, reclaimed garden materials can create texture and personality without requiring a major investment. The key is to avoid making the border look random. Choose one material, use it consistently, and create a clear repeating pattern. A creative border should still follow the same design principles as any other landscape element. Consistency, repetition, and a clean overall shape. When done thoughtfully, a DIY border can become one of the most memorable features in the entire front yard. Idea number 12. Raised border with simple blocks. If you want to add more dimension, consider a low raised border. Simple landscape blocks or other suitable materials can create a small retaining edge around a planting bed. The extra height gives the plants more presence. It also creates shadows and depth, and because the border is elevated, even small plants become more visible from the street. Keep the design low and simple. You don't need a massive retaining wall. A subtle raised edge can be enough to make the front yard feel more layered and architectural. Then fill the bed with repeated greenery for a clean, cohesive appearance. Idea number 13. The ultimate budget front yard border makeover. And now, let's combine several inexpensive ideas into one complete front yard transformation. Imagine starting with a simple lawn and a few scattered plants. The first step? Create a clear border. Use a smooth curve to define the planting bed. Along the edge, add reclaimed bricks or affordable stones. Nothing too complicated, just enough to create a visible transition. Next, add a fresh layer of mulch. Immediately, the planting bed begins to feel cleaner and more finished. Now choose just a few affordable plant varieties. Instead of scattering them randomly, repeat them in groups. Add ornamental grasses for height and movement. Use low ground cover near the front. And introduce a few flowering plants for seasonal color. At the center of the border, place one statement feature. Maybe it's a small ornamental tree, a sculptural plant, or a beautiful large planter. Then create a narrow strip of gravel near the pathway to add contrast. Finally, introduce a few subtle solar or low voltage lights where appropriate. As evening arrives, the pathway becomes more defined. The plants gain depth, and the border begins to glow. What was once an ordinary patch of lawn now feels layered, organized, welcoming, and far more expensive than the actual budget behind it. And that's the lesson. You don't always need more landscaping. Sometimes, you simply need to organize the landscaping you already have. So, which of these 13 inexpensive front yard border ideas would you try first? Would you choose the natural stone border, the recycled brick edge, the flowing pebble river, a simple mulch bed, or perhaps the complete budget makeover at number 13? Whatever inspires you most, remember this. A beautiful front yard isn't defined by how much money you spend. It's defined by the details. A clean line, a thoughtful planting pattern, a repeated material, a little contrast, and a design that feels intentional. Because sometimes, the smallest changes create the biggest transformation. If you enjoyed these budget-friendly landscaping ideas, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Houzz Ideas, and turn on notifications for more front yard inspiration, garden design, curb appeal, and affordable outdoor makeover ideas. And let us know in the comments, which border idea would transform your front yard the most? Thanks for watching Houzz Ideas. And remember, you don't need an expensive garden to create a beautiful first impression. See you in the next video.